Hey y'all, what is up? My name is Gia Dead, and welcome to my show, which is Make Me Feel It Mondays here on AMP. I have a very amazing and special guest for you guys. Her name is Sonya Alvarez. Is that how you say her last name? You have to correct me. But I just want to give a brief bio on Sonya and welcome everybody in the room. What's up, Gypsy Love? Good to see you. I Hate It Here in the House, Rerun Asylum, LaSonia Genevieve, Sleazy Jamie, Georgetown Javis, everybody, Doris M. It's good to see y'all. But let me tell you about Sonya. Sonya is making a name for herself in her hometown of Detroit. She's playing a style that's all her own. She uses tech house beats, spun and cut like hip hop over the past few months and years. She's DJ'd for people such as Kill Frenzy, Ryder Sanchez, and Luno, Will Clark, and Jane Ferris. And her love for art and music is quickly fused into one, and she's all about connecting with the crowd. And this comes for a love of dancing and self-creativity. She plays the music that speaks to her and makes her want to dance. And I can agree with that. I've seen her DJ live. I think I first saw her at this Detroit festival called Charivari. And I remember seeing her on the stage. She had so much energy and she was twisting and moving and like pumping up the crowd with her energy. And then she was spinning high energy tech house music. Her skill on the turntable is just like superb. She's always chopping and screwing and flipping and doing some really cool stuff. Also, I loved her graphic design as well. She's a true creative and she's been blazing a trail of her own, which I've had the honor of watching. She's very ambitious. She's going after her passion, which is music and being a DJ and producer. And I see that on social media. I see that in real life. And she's also doing her thing in cosplay as well. So, Sonya, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is super cool.
Yes, it's so good to just have you and for you to take the time because I'm like, I know you're doing your thing. So, thank you for taking the time to grace our
Yeah,
presence here on here.
I really appreciate it. I honestly, this is just like all so new to me. So I'm like, wow, this you guys like you were like telling me like, oh, the song's got to be on the app, but you guys had so many songs here. So I was like, wow, this is the only hard part is like scaling it back because there's so much good music in the world. So I appreciate all the kind words that you said. That was really nice.
For sure. I agree. It is honestly, that's why I'm like, you might have to start your own show on AMP because it's like you go in one direction, you're like, dang, but I could add this and I could add that. So I know it's
Yeah, it's
like a
really
challenge
endless.
asking the DJ to narrow it down.
Hey, it's the best kind of problem to have.
I know, right? That's real, girl. So yeah, girl, what were you about to say? What were you about to say?
Oh, nothing. I'm just excited to be here. Thank you again.
Yes, I'm
I'm
excited
grateful.
for you to be here. So I guess we can jump into it. So, how did you come up with your stage name?
So there's actually a pretty fun story behind my stage name. Sonya actually comes from Mortal Kombat. So if anyone here is
Oh,
like a fan of the 90s video game Mortal Kombat, so when I was looking for a DJ name, it was basically because I did not want to use my like legal name. It was kind of like an actual
yeah.
like common name, like it just reminded me of like Jessica Smith. It's just like so common that I needed to find something else. And so I wanted to find something that was unique but also familiar. So I knew that Sonya Blade being a character in Mortal Kombat was really like familiar to people's like memory, but also Sonya wasn't a name that you heard every day.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, she represented, a really strong and independent female in a primarily male dominated field. And I do remember specifically
Oh,
when I started DJing, women we were only 10% of the DJ population. I'm not sure what it is today because this was like, I don't know, almost 8 years ago. But I know for sure it was only like 10%. So I was like, oh, that's perfect. So I chose the name Sonya.
I love that. Wow. So to me, this is like relating to your interest of cosplay as well. Like, did you used to play Mortal Kombat back in the day? Like, how did you?
Yes. Yeah, I was a fan. I wasn't like a nerd about it or anything, but I was, yeah, I was a fan. Just always a fan of a lot of random things, and then when I am a fan of them, I tend to kind of hyper focus on them. But it's cool because you learn a lot about the characters, and when you really like something, you get in depth. And that's why it kind of worked for me for music, because you fall into a couple rabbit holes and you're like, 30 record labels down the line, and you know what I mean? And it's kind of cool. So you can really get into it.
I love that. Wow.
It's a lot of
And then
fun.
just, back to what you said about it being like her taking over a male dominated field. You just were really clever with that. And I'm like, did you sit down and like think about this? Like, when I become a DJ,
Yes.
it's gonna be Sonya.
It kind of all came at different stages, but it was definitely a very conscious decision when I chose that name. It also felt a little bit more ethnic leaning, which is what I am. So it was like perfect for me, anyways. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this just fits more. And then, I mean, since then, and now I just go by that name in everyday life as well. Like, even I have the doctors and nurses calling me that and stuff. So
I love that. Okay. Well,
it's a little
let's
easier for introducing yourself if you can just keep it to one. So.
pardon.
It's a little easier to introduce yourself if you could just keep it
Oh
to one.
yeah. I agree with that. That's so real.
People like
Yeah.
way less, so that's why. But yeah, really like my DJ name.
I like it too. It's super cute. And like I said, on your graphic design, when I remember you used to pass out like stickers, I think, with your name on
Yep,
it.
I still have stickers, lighters,
Yeah.
fanny packs, t-shirts, matchbooks. I have a lot of merchandise, and I'm still hoping to do more with it. I actually have all of my clothes that I've worn on stage to big shows. I got tags made like with my
Wow.
logo, and I got them professionally stitched into the back of the tags. And so there's like an entire clothing line that has yet to be like launched on my website,
What?
SonyaAlvarezShop.com. Yeah, I know, of clothing that I like wore once on stage and stuff. Really cool fashion pieces that are like one of a kind. So that's exciting. There's always more coming up.
Yeah. So please put that in your profile link if you haven't already, so we can check
Yeah,
that
I'm
out.
gonna be working on getting that launched very soon because we have it. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's get into these songs. So do you have a particular order, or can we just like straight up play
You
them?
can just start the order. It wouldn't hurt. It's all
Okay.
good music. I appreciate you so much, Gia.
For sure. No, I appreciate you too. So it's a couple that weren't on there, so you'll see as we play them. But up next, we can play the Don't Stop song. That's the first
Cool.
one.
Cool. Thank you.
Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Giadet here on AMP, and I have Sonya Alvarez, an amazing DJ. Sonya, why did you choose Don't Stop?
Hey Gia, so this song "Don't Stop" by Cyrus Hood is actually an older song that I just started recently listening to a lot. Cyrus Hood is an artist that was one of the first larger artists that came through Detroit that I wound up being able to open for,
Okay.
and his music style production really speaks to an understated side of me. So it's like he has a little bit more reserved production. It's not so super in your face. But the melody does mean a lot to me. I feel like it's melodic in a way that doesn't make me bored. So I chose that song because I feel like it's everybody can vibe to it. So it's a good like
Yeah.
opening song.
Yes, it was a good vibe. I agree. That's what's up. I love that. So you opened for him and you love his production style.
Yes, ma'am.
Love that. So, so you are DJing. You've been doing it for, you said, at least 8 years now. So, like, what led you to develop this passion? What life events led you to become a DJ?
So basically for me, I've always been an artist. I've always been into music as well. Never really fused the two as far as like playing instruments in school or anything.
Mhm.
Um, but definitely the love was always there, but just separate. And so basically after I had my son, which by the way, he's sleeping and he wanted to make sure that I mentioned him in the show.
Love it.
He said he wants everybody to know what an amazing mom I am. He said so. He said,
Aww.
make sure you tell them that you have a son. And I was like, well, of course I do everything for you. He's like, well, then just say that. It was cute.
Aww.
So
I
after I
love
had
it.
my son, um, I was working a lot, and basically I had babysitter, and I had time to go out after work, and I went to a club with some friends, and it was a different type of club than I even knew existed. So it was like I discovered house music for the very first
Mm.
time. And then, literally less than 2, 3 months after just like being introduced to the club, I was going there like every single weekend, just like by myself, just to dance.
Yes.
And I would actually just like continuously avoid eye contact with everyone and just try to not even talk to anyone and just literally just go to dance. I wound up making friends just because like people kind of like, are you, hey, are you cool? What's up?
Right,
Like,
right. Of course.
I was like, oh shit, I guess I gotta talk to these people. I like made friends. They were really sweet. And they were DJs that wound up DJing there a lot, and they wound up kind of offering to teach me, and it I quickly understood that if I wanted my space to dance in the club, that space would be always sacred behind the decks. That was one space,
Absolutely.
one space where a person got a lot to dance. I also realized that I could control the entire room with said music and volume, and
Mm.
also basically speak to everyone at once with my music. And then also, I was already speaking to them nonverbally with my dance. I could just match my dance to the music that I chose, and it would be like a full performance. So I saw that very early on, and I realized that that's where I would feel much more comfortable in the club other than outside of the booth. So
Yeah.
for me, it was just very, very clear early on that like that's what my position there was going to be DJing and not in the crowd. So it's like a safety thing for many reasons, but it just felt most natural, I guess I could say.
That is so cool. So, like, how did you make that connection? So, you said you were friends with DJs. How did you learn to DJ? Did
Um,
you learn on your
so
own?
so basically, nope. So basically, I had a good friend. His name is Roman, and he had a controller. He brought it over to my house, and he let me borrow it, literally just like free of charge. And he also gave me a lesson. I will tell you, when I tell you I did not touch that controller for at least like after it was like decided that I was going to learn and I started learning, I didn't touch it for like 2 months. I was scared that I was going to break it. Every time I
Yeah.
turned it on, I mixed songs together and it sounded horrible. I was
Yep.
just really like very, very, very apprehensive and nervous. And then I would, a couple you know, 6 or so weeks after I had it there, it was just kind of nudging me. And I wound up just continuing to practice on it, and just remembering all of the different things he said. That, along with continuing to attend the shows. But when I would
Yeah.
attend the shows, I would just kind of stand there and stare at the DJ decks, the hands of the DJs. And
Right.
so I never really like was into socializing a ton. I just went to kind of go study the musicians. And so those two things combined really led me to have a passion for like the technicalities and like the mixing of the actual beats.
Wow, I love that. And I love what you also said earlier about like kind of having control of like making a connection with the crowd by how you by what you play. Also, you're able to dance, and you said that you're dancing, you're also creating music, you're playing music, and then you're also making that connection and just spreading amazing vibes. So I love all of what you just said. If you're just joining, I have Sonya with me. She's a DJ from Detroit, and she is just telling us about herself, also providing amazing selections. So we can go ahead and play your next song. It's The Sweetest Taboo by Sade.
Beautiful.
Hello and welcome back. My name is Gia Dead, and I have Sonya Alvarez, my special guest on Make Me Feel It Mondays today. Sonya, why did you choose that song, The Sweetest Taboo?
Hey Gia, I chose the sweetest taboo in my playlist because I actually listen to a ton of R&B, and Sade is one of my favorites. And in a lot of my DJ sets, I actually do mix in quite a bit of R&B. I feel like with music, it's important to understand that it is about the emotion that it evokes within you. And I feel like sometimes we pin ourselves down to genres so much that it limits the emotions that we're able to evoke. So for me, I focus less on that and just like the quality of music. I care less so much if it's popular or, never heard before or whatever. It's just again, if it kind of like evokes a certain emotion within me. And I felt like it's kind of perfect for the name of your radio show, Make Me Feel It, because I feel like these songs are,
Yeah,
all songs that really, really move me in my core. Yeah, that's why I chose that song. It's beautiful.
you're so deep. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true because that song does, Sade for me evokes a lot of emotion in
A
all of her
lot.
songs. So I
Yeah.
think we're definitely on point with that. And yeah, for me, that was the point of this show because just briefly, there was a point where I couldn't feel any emotion in my life. So I was like, music, Soulful
Yeah.
House for me brought me back to just like hearing how emotions or love and just different, yeah, emotional temperatures were described in songs that helped me to
Yeah.
feel again. So yes, you're on point. Thank you for selecting songs that provoke emotions within us. I appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. But I do want to ask though, so how would you describe your style as a DJ and even a producer? Because you just said you mix in R&B. So like how would you describe your own style?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the best term would just be off the wall. Really truly there's a lot of people who applaud me for taking the different type of genre bouncing mixes that I do, and there's a lot of people that condemn me for it, but I've really come to the peace that like I have to just be comfortable with what I'm doing here, and if it makes me
Yeah,
happy, and if I'm if I'm happy with my art and it brings other people joy, then you're never going to be anybody's cup of tea. So the fact
right.
that I like to just be myself in the full spectrum and play R&B, play rap music, play um, total old school originals, play random bass house songs that you've never heard before, and just keep it true to myself, I think is what makes me partially just so different. I really just don't care.
Dang, I love that.
you know
Unapologetically yourself.
yeah, so just kind of, yes, unapologetically myself, which is kind of
Mhm.
rare these days, so I really just don't worry on fitting into any sort of box or mold.
Girl, we are begging for you to come on to AMP now, basically, because you can do that here. Like, this is an app for music geeks. It's just for people that enjoy all types of music. You can literally do what you just did. Obviously, you're not mixing the songs, so having breaks or different tempos, we don't care. We just want
Right.
you to, like, we're just connecting, like you said, through the music. It speaks to us. So, thank you.
That's beautiful. Well, thank you for having me again.
Yes. So also, you produce. How did you start producing? What was that journey like? I'd love to
So
hear.
I have been producing for a few years. My expertise and how you say experience is light. So kind of a perfectionist. There are a lot of hurdles that I deal with as far as production. So with me being like female presenting autistic, there's a lot of different challenges that it presents. So there's a lot of different abilities that I have that make me special. Like you mentioned, you're a fan of like the way that I am on the DJ decks with like
Mhm.
always being super hyperactive, of like, kind of colorful. A lot of
Yeah.
people would describe my performance as colorful, with my, large hand gestures and the way that I
Hmm.
can make eye contact with the crowd often and compartmentalize dancing, beat matching, effect mixing, those different things that kind of like service me during performance, they do me kind of like a disservice during production because I have really, really, really bad like ADHD when I'm trying to produce.
Mm.
So it's really hard for me to focus because I'm very understimulated. I become understimulated and overstimulated. So that's why the
Mm.
DJ booth is a good spot for me because in the crowd, I'm very overstimulated and I don't really know what to say to people. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
So likewise in the studio, I actually found myself kind of like with a learning disorder. I'll be completely honest with you. I had different mentors that were showing me how to produce at their homes, and they're all very good teachers. The issue is kind of the way that my brain works.
Hmm.
It just honestly takes things in different routes to where it's been a very solitary journey for me with my production because a lot of people were explaining like the quote proper way to like write a song, this, that, and the next, and the third, or
Hmm.
whatever. And I'm just, for me, it's always been so personal. And also, like, I never wanted anybody to do anything for me. So I've been a real
Mm.
stickler on like anything that comes out from me with my name is 100% mine, every single beat.
Wow.
So I've
Wow.
been very hard pressed on that, and it's made it hard for me because I've had to accept less help.
Hmm.
But I will say that the productions that I have squoze out into the world were all my own, 100%. So that's if they're less popular because of that, then it doesn't bother me because at night I sit and I know that I did it myself and there was no
Yeah.
cutting any corners. I also released them myself because I couldn't find anybody to release it because it was so unorthodox. I just decided to say screw it and release it myself.
Ooh,
So that's where we are with that.
girl,
And
you
I'm trying to
are.
get my label back going. We kind of took a break there. I was dealing with some
Is it?
personal things, but I'm definitely excited to jump back more into music actively with production because even though it is not like I wouldn't say production is a passion of mine. I would say
Mhm.
music is a passion of mine. And I know that in this day and age, you really do need to develop your production muscle to be able to perform the way that you want. Because performance is
Right.
a real passion for me here.
Yeah. So do you find yourself, you said you need to develop that or use that production muscle. So do you like
Yeah.
chop and screw existing songs so that you get that exact, because you have your high.
No, it's all making beats and
Yeah.
making it all from scratch.
Mm, wow. You literally are getting it from the mud. That's what we call
Yeah.
it. Like wow. We need to have an offline conversation. I have so many questions about your process here.
Yeah, so it's been a long road. Every song that you see that I have out, there's not that many of them, but I can tell you that I made them myself.
Wow. Well, let's go ahead. I want to play one of your songs now, but I do have the jungle. That was one that you didn't give me. But
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
okay. Well, do you mind if we go ahead and play one of your songs since we're
You
talking
can
about
play one of my
production?
songs. Yeah, we're talking about it. It's fine.
All right, let's do that, and then we'll get into what you want to do for love back to back after that.
Okay, great.
All
Thanks.
right.
guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find the love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Some people go around the world for love, but they may never find what they dream of. What you won't do to do for love. You tried everything, but you don't give up. In my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in the daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Although I only want the best, it's true. I can't believe the things I do for you. What you won't do for love. You've tried everything, but you won't give up. In my world, only you made me do for love what I would not do. Made me do for love what I would not do. Make me do for love what I would not do. Make me do for love what I would not do.
Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Giadetroit, and this is Make Me Feel It Mondays. I have Sonya Alvarez as my special guest, and we just played one of her tracks, The Jungle, as well as a selection by her, What You Won't Do for Love. Before we get into it, I just want to welcome some people that came through. Shout out to Sound Dialect and Party Downstairs. They were loving your track. And they were like, this is amazing. But I like that you said it took you 2 years to make. Like, wow, art is a deep process. But we got I Hate It Here, that's still here, Party Downstairs. We got Tia, Anaj that came through Shake Radio, See Me Later, Miss Sledge, Mika Mouse, everybody, Queen Chronicles. Thank you so much for being here. But back to you, Miss Sonya. So that was What You Won't Do for Love, and your song before that. If you want to talk about just the jungle and the process of production with that, that would be nice too. But yeah, why did you choose What You Won't Do for Love? Tell me about that.
So I chose that very classic banger by Bobby Caldwell. It's actually one of the songs that's on repeat for me right now. Just in general, as far as me just appreciating what it did for music culture, as far as, the obvious classic Tupac remake that we all know was sampled from. I feel like the original is at a tempo that really speaks to me. It's like slow and low and really heartfelt. I feel like every time the song makes a turn to come around again, it's so full bodied that you feel it like deep in your solar plex. You feel the love in that song, from like the saxophone to like the tenor of his voice. You just like feel the love. And I feel like the love in that song has been full force from the day it was produced to the day that we listen to it here, and it just like is so timeless. I just feel like it's such a powerful song that to not include it just seems like a fucking crime. So that's why I chose it. So yeah, it's just really, really powerful song.
Dang, I love that. I love that you're thinking deep and that you selected things that really speak to you. And yeah, I agree. That song, look, it's before our time. I feel like it's before my time. So I'm
Yeah,
like, but it still speaks to you like so much on a deep level, and just the simplicity too. Like it's repetitive, it's simple, but it's so true for everyone. The lyrics, because we try everything. And then you try not to give up too. So it's real. It's so real.
It is. It's beautiful.
But yeah, so
my
before
track
that we played The Jungle. Yeah.
The Jungle has a cool song. It took me a long time to write. There was a lot of different bass lines I was playing around with, and different ways that I was going to use that sample of the male voice. It was in a sample pack. I really just went back and forth with so many different ways of writing the song that it had changed so much. At a certain point, and I was asking peers for advice because that's what I thought I had to do, even though I didn't really want to. And then at a certain point, I felt like, too much feedback really kind of alters any sort of vision you can even have whatsoever. So I just kind of had to put my foot down and say, okay, well, I like the way that this sounds, so we're just going to go with it. And that kind of decisiveness is really what's needed for successful production completion, which is definitely like the part that I struggle the most with, I would say. The start and the complete. Once you're in it, the flow state is fine, obviously. But yeah, so that one was just kind of one that I felt called to finish, and it turned out to be probably the most popular song in my EP that I made. So
okay, wow. It was destined for you to make it. It was definitely hurdles, but usually that's how it is. The thing that's like kind of in your way the most is probably the thing that you need to conquer, or just get, to get out there. So yeah, it was definitely destined for you to get out. But you did kind of talk about your creative process. So like, what is your creative process like? And do certain things inspire you? Like you're like, driving down the highway, or you hear some Bobby Caldwell, you're like, I need to add a sample, to a song. Like what's your process like?
So for like, as far as music production, it'll be more like driving down the highway, or like you wake up from a nap or sleep or something. For me, I'm not so much inspired directly by other music, more inspired by, I guess, the tenacity of how different some music can be from one another. There's just such a spectrum.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we got the red circle of death. If you're just joining, I have Sonya. She's an amazing DJ, producer, writer, performer, and she is telling us about herself as well as she's made some amazing selections that we're listening to tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this next song by Sonya. It's called Make Me Feel by Golf Clap. Hey guys, welcome back. I have Sonya Alvarez on the line, and OMG. So you said Golf Clap is your mentor. I was gonna ask you, like, who are your mentors? Who do you admire in the music industry? And you said Golf Clap taught you how to produce. Girl, wow, that's amazing. I love that. Also, there's a question in the audience. I do want to talk about your mentors outside of Golf Clap, but we have a question by Stedo, and he was asking, how do you find inspiration in moments where you feel stuck in a rut?
Oh, so to answer your question, um, I don't look. I just let it find me. I stay in my rut until I really am just moved on. To be honest with you, I feel like part of being an artist, a true artist, is really understanding that the art is about the journey of your life unfolding consistently. And there are going to be times where you are not producing as much artwork as you'd really like to be. And that is just a part of life. Not everyone is a Pablo Picasso, 30 paintings a year, prolific, painter. So you just got to understand that your journey is your own, or at least that's what I do. I feel like it's really important as artists. Some of the toxicity is really positive toxicity. You know, we're really hard on
Yeah.
ourselves to be inspired constantly and be creating. And I think as creatives, it's important to let ourselves have time where we're just doing nothing and just maybe enjoying a few songs on repeat. And we're not consistently searching for new music. We're just letting things find us, letting others find us, and then finding inspiration in those other people who maybe like peek their way into our world. But to answer your question, yeah, I do not search for inspiration. When I don't find it, I just let it find me.
I love that. So you follow like a natural you honor your emotions, you honor your feelings, honestly, to me in that moment. You're like, okay, I don't feel
Yes.
like being creative. Let
Yes.
me, do this other thing to be
Yep.
balanced.
Absolutely.
That's
Because once
sweet.
you start pushing and forcing that, that's when it loses its purity, and it's it starts losing being fun, when you have to make
Yeah.
it work. So I don't put that on myself because I truly do love my art and my music, and I've been an artist my entire life, so I can't
Mm.
imagine being anything else. And honestly, that's what I will be until I die. So I'm comfortable with the natural ebb and flow of my creative space, and it doesn't bother me. And then as far as some of my other mentors. So yeah, Brian from Golf Clap was a big part of just me and music in general. He,
Mhm.
saw a lot of potential that I had. And then as far as people in Detroit, there have been some, more old school DJs like DJ Soul, for instance. Bill Stacy is someone I really admire.
Okay.
And, there's just been some people who, you see, even if I'm not like real close with them or talk to them, somebody like Minx, for instance, is a huge
Yeah.
inspiration to me. Or even just like, a girlfriend of mine who's done extremely well for herself, DJ Holographic. Um,
Yeah.
just seeing different people and different, timelines have their space to shine so bright. Just
Yes.
knowing that like that special, light also resides within you. And,
Come on.
you know what I'm saying? It's just like you just have to like kind of be patient, stay your
Yeah.
course, and just continue to be true to yourself. Because I truly feel like, whatever is meant for us in this lifetime cannot miss us. So that's why
Yes.
it's like there are no wrong turns. I don't have any regrets, because everything that's, supposed to happen does. So that's why you just have to follow your gut instincts, or at least I know that's what I do. And if something doesn't feel right, I don't do it. And if it does feel
Mm.
right, no matter how strange it may seem to others, I still do it.
Wow. And do you feel like that's led you well, pretty well?
Yeah, obviously I wish I had more DJ shows, but that will come with time. Like I said, I had some things I had to sort out in my personal life, and I'm doing a lot better with that. I have my own space now to be creative. So once I continue to get my space together and finish cultivating the completeness of my space, I will have, more mental clarity as far as creative space. Because for me, it's I really need to be alone when I'm creating. A lot of times,
Yeah.
I can work on some projects with people, but as far as starting things, especially like getting back on the horse after a while, it's a real intimate, personal process for me. It's kind of like the opposite of performing. How I would like more people there. So basically, I kind of went through a situation where I damn near had almost like no privacy for like a super duper duper
Mm,
long time. And it kind of can wear on a creative, because I feel like
yes.
as much time as we spend being perceived by others, because it's a large part of creating, it's equally important to have time alone to be able to cultivate that sense of self and to be able
Yes.
to, create what it is to be you. So without having that for me, it was really tough to kind of maintain what the fuck was even going on.
Come
Um,
on.
right. So yeah, just getting back to the basics a little bit, and then, because so there's a lot of people that inspire me. So
Oof,
let's
girl,
see.
you
People
sorry.
inspire me.
Sorry, don't get offended by girl. I'm just saying
Oh
basically
no,
you
you're
were
fine.
saying some really deep, amazing things. Like,
Well, thank
I can
you.
relate to all of it. Yeah, you do have to, I mean, I guess it's the introvert extrovert thing too, but I do agree, like you do have to have that moment where you can quiet everything and also just um like you said, listen to that inner voice, get into that flow as you create, you know. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. I love people, but yeah, I have to have my own little space to
Yeah,
creative
yeah, you gotta
to
have your
to
own
to
space.
birth things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know. So yeah, for sure. And also just your perspective on the DJs that you admire. I just think it's all perspective. Like, look, I'm looking at you and I'm like, you are grinding, Sonya. Just like, and like you said, you're taking a little break or whatever right now. You're honoring that space. But goodness, like when, just your grind, I definitely admire it. So I think it's just perspective. Like, people see, your different phases. We're looking at Minx, we're looking at holographics, and what they're doing. But I'm sure they're looking up at, what is it, Honey Dijon,
Yeah,
like somebody else that's going crazy right now. So
yeah,
you are doing your thing, and like you said, it's only a matter of time. Just stay in your lane and keep going hard, which you do. So you'll
right.
get there
Because
for sure.
it's like I just feel like there's really room in this world for everyone to
Hmm.
win, for everyone's dreams to come true, for people who work hard, it will pay off. Karma is real. All the silly quotes on the internet you ever heard, they're all real. That's all real. So there you go.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and play another song then.
Let's do it.
All right. Up next is "Home" by Flava D.
Yes.
Hey guys, welcome back. Gia Detroit here. I have my girl Sonya Alvarez on the line with me. You guys, before we get back into it, I just want to give some shout outs to people that have joined this amazing conversation. We got Shake Radio, Syntax Radio, Cutie Time, Atusa, Party Downstairs. Who else we got? I saw Steto was still in the house. Philly X lineup. What's up? Good to see you. Good to have you, as well as many others. JJMB216. It's really good to have you guys. And B Cooper. What's up? So, Sonia, why did you choose that song? Tell me about that selection.
So I chose that song by Flava D. Flava D is a female artist out of the UK that really means a lot to me. She has her own record label. It's called Butters, I want to say, Butters Records. She really has been a very large inspiration for me as far as producers and performers. She's played at a lot of different types of places that I would like to, but more importantly, that production, I feel like does a happy dance between like a four on the floor and almost like a liquid drum and bass.
Yes.
Where you feel the song is so elusive with being able to pin it down, but there's also this like very sincere like audio that is just, I don't know, almost like haunting. So the song is called Home, and I just feel for sure every time when I DJ and I get to play that song in front of people, it is something that, you know, nobody really knows. It's kind of like an off the wall song that's like not very popular. Obviously, it's no Bobby Caldwell, you know, but it to me, I feel like strikes a chord that really people can really resonate with just from hearing it once, and it feels like home. And to me, I feel like the decks feel like home, and so I'm most comfortable when I am DJing. So I like playing that song for people because I feel like it's like a warm song. It's kind of like a fuzzy blankets, and I really love her. And I like being able to bring in a female producer to my set whenever I can, whenever it makes sense. I don't do it for shits and giggles, but if I can and I really like it, then it makes me happy too.
Wow. Okay, I love that. I mean, and like you said, it's intentional and it gives you, it had a lot of cute energy, like kind of fun, light, like you said. I like that too. It was very different. I'm
Yeah,
happy to
kind of
check her
like
out.
playful. There's like a lot of like little melodies within it that were like kind of playful, little like almost like rooms in a house, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Really like that one.
Yes. Also, I just wanted to honor a comment. So Syntax said, thank you for everything you said before we played that last song. It's like I really needed to hear that, and she appreciates you. So shout out to Syntax Radio. I agree. Girl, you are speaking some really deep things that I think a lot of people are going through. You're just like laying it all out. We can relate. You're very relatable.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I just try to be myself.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and play another song if you don't mind. Let's play Revolution
All right.
by Mechanism.
Yes, Mechanism. Thank you.
That was lit. Hey guys, my name is Gia Detroit, aka Giadet here on AMP. I have Sonya Alvarez. She is telling us about herself and providing us with some amazing vibes through her amazing selections. So, Sonya, let me ask you this next question. So, where's the most exciting place that you've performed? Like, you've done a lot of different performances. Tell me about it.
Yes, I've done a lot of different exciting performances. Possibly one of the most exciting experiences was play. It's gonna sound funny. Actually, playing at City Club. Believe it or not, I was playing a show for Chris Lake.
Oh,
And I actually was closing for him.
wow.
I know. It's just so wild to even say. But he decided he wanted to continue playing. And so instead of cutting me out, I actually got to play back to back Chris Lake. And at the time, Boys Noise was playing in Detroit as well with a different like production company, but they came through the party because we were going later. And Boys Noise came through, and I played back to back with Boys Noise and Chris Lake.
Wow.
So like
OMG.
that was probably something I'll never forget.
Nothing you can make up. That was literally like a destiny moment. Like you were meant to be.
Yeah.
To be.
It
That's so
was
cool.
it
At
was
City
so
Club out.
crazy. And actually, if I don't know if you already there's song "I Want" by Danny Kalk. That was one of the biggest. That was like a song that I played during that set, and it was just like it really went off. And I just remember every song that I dropped during that performance. They all performed very well, you know. One thing that I've been able to really do over the course of my career is, you know, kind of read the room, which is the job of us. So it's like that hypersensitivity and that hyper empathy that comes with my female presenting autism, where I can kind of have that, you know, claircognizance and just kind of like that ever knowing of like how people are feeling and just kind of like read it on them and, you know, bring the right kind of music to the table. So, you know, I love doing that. It's like a lot of fun for me.
It's female presenting autism seems like a superpower from how you're describing it. Like you're able to
Superpower. I mean, I always like
emotions.
to
That's so cool.
say there's pros and cons to everything. You know, you heard me describe how I can compartmentalize and really hyper focus on a lot of different things when I'm performing, but you heard how crippling it can become when I'm trying to create something original and my own by myself. So there's pros and cons to it, but I really think that the takeaway is knowing thyself, studying thyself, and the changes that happen within you all the time. Because the closer you pay attention to yourself, your triggers, how you can improve yourself, your communication skills with others, you know, the better that you can express yourself to others, the better that others can understand you. And that's what this life is like kind of the dance between yourself and others. So I appreciate, you know, my self journey. Whatever challenges it brings, you know.
Let's play that song that you just mentioned, "I Want" by Danny Kalk.
Yeah.
And thank you for those words again.
Yes, thank you, love.
I want everybody to fuck man. I want everybody to fuck it, man. I want everybody to fuck it, man. Fuck it, man. Everybody to fuck you, man. I want everybody to fuck a man. I want everybody to fuck it, man. I want everybody to fuck it, man. Fuck it, man. I want everybody to fuck it, man. Fuck it, man. Everybody to fuck you, man. Everybody to fuck you, man.
Hey guys, welcome back. I have my girl Sonya Alvarez with me, but before we get back to this interview, let me just shout out Sobo, welcome Poker Shadow, as well as people in the VIP. We got Sound Dialect, Syntax Radio. I saw Gypsy, and a face of poker changed his profile picture. I was like, I don't know you, but that's Poker Shadow. What's up? But yes, Sonya, you played that track with Chris Lake, and you said the boys. What was the other group?
Boys
But
Noise.
yes, the boys' noise.
Yeah,
Yes,
so that's Boys Noise. What's his other? He does a thing with Skrillex.
dope.
They do a
Wow.
show with. He does a show with Skrillex underneath. I forget their fucking name. Oh, something has to do with a dog. I don't know. I should probably know that, but either way, yeah, it was pretty cool. Very famous, talented producer DJs. Um, yeah, so done a lot of really cool shows and looking forward to do more in the future. I know that I was booked for Movement 2020 before COVID happened. Um,
I was sad for you for that. Like,
yeah,
I was excited. I would have definitely supported,
I
and just to see
know.
that
So,
happen. Ooh,
right, I have an entire like vision, of course, of how it was all going to play out and everything. And of course, that time has passed, and at the day and the time that I was supposed to be performing, I remember I was cutting the grass in my backyard of like my house.
oh
I was like,
wow.
oh, this is, but it's cool, again, I'm really at peace with my journey, and I feel like
Yes.
just being booked for it was really something that was very cool. And not everybody can say that that happens to them or that they've worked
Right.
toward that. So I'm just going to kind of use that in my head as like continuing my motivation to strive for more and continued excellence. I think that there was a part of me that saw that as like sort of like an end goal. And I think maybe the reason that I didn't get to achieve it is because I'm meant for more. So,
You completely are. Like,
I
you
was
should be
looking at the
traveling the
positive.
world.
Yes, of course. So, and then, I'll be back to play movement one day. So, just looking at it all, like you said, in perspective and the bigger picture and just staying motivated. If you know you have the talent within you, you have the drive and the passion, then, you're all set. That's all you need.
That's real. Yes. And you are naturally like, I mean, you to me you show like what hard work also can where it can get you. I mean, you do have that, like, you are creative, you have the talents, but you developed that talent. And then also, just like I said, just seeing your drive, seeing you post the journey and even the disappointments, it's extremely like encouraging to so
Well,
many. And I
thank
think
you.
people, yeah, people also that you look up to, I think it's encouraging to them as well, that follow you and know you. But I would like to know, so based off of that, Movement has so many amazing artists, and you mentioned a few as well that you've already done some back-to-backs with. Who would you like to collaborate with, whether it's producing or performing? Who's on your radar?
Well, right now I'm going to be performing with my sister on Saturday, actually.
Okay.
So my sister just started DJing a few months ago. I taught her how. She's 6 years younger than me, and she is just like getting into music. And she expressed to me the wants to, DJ, and I kind of give her my blessing. And so we'll be DJing together. um, but as far as like the future, like working with others, um, I mean, I would really like to, travel overseas and kind of work with maybe some DJs over there. Anna Luno, she's
Mm,
um, out of Australia. I mean, it would be pretty cool to go to Australia and DJ. I'd like to go to Brazil and learn more about music production because that's where a lot of my influence comes is from Brazilian house music. So I have some
wow.
friends down there that I just made from like the internet. I think that would be cool. But yeah, overall, I'd like to just be find some more people who, how do I say this, are in the right positions to offer me the right opportunities to be myself fully, because I feel like in the past I've tried to find different places to fit in to mold, and it's been hard for me because, like I said, I don't fit into like a mold per se. And I think that it's okay. I think there are
Yeah.
others who do similar to what I do. They kind of like, mix different genres, or their performance will be like a mixed media performance, whether they do
Yes.
sing or they dance and they sing or whatever it is. I think that it's okay. I think that there's been a lot of pushback,
Hmm.
but we only can get the feedback from where we are. So,
Right.
with Detroit being so small, I think that, I've done a lot of shows here, and there's just been a lot of still water for me. So looking into getting into more moving waters, which, will be traveling and making connections with other people, and, it'll
Yes.
always happen organically. So give it to God.
Yeah, give it to God. Yeah, I agree. It's going to happen organically. And if you're a listening person who can give Sonya an international opportunity to be herself and to inspire the crowd, please contact her. For real, I'm serious. Like, and yeah, like I said, I just think it's a matter of time, really.
Yeah, of course.
You're on your way. It's just only a matter of time. But shout out to Hello Capricorn. Thanks for coming through. It's good to see you and have you. So we are kind of winding down. There were some questions I did kind of skip, but I do want to ask you. I did skip this one, but so are there any songs that you've created that you're extremely proud of that you want to talk about or that we can play?
Any songs that I've
Created, or even songs that yeah, you can I would say songs that you've produced, or even tracks that are like your go-to tracks, if you want to talk about that. Either one.
Yeah, sure. So the last two on the list here, Semantics and Beat Dat. Beat Dat being by Causey D, being one of my like all-time favorite like house music songs to play for sure, and possibly songs in general. Just has a really good up and down flow of taking you through different paragraphs. I feel like it's just a good consistency at any time of the party. You can play that song and it really just goes off. And then Semantics. So fun story behind that song, means a lot to me because growing up, music being a huge part of my life, that started with my cassette player at age 7. I got my first
Aw.
tape, and it was Spice Girls. Um, I will never forget, because I studied all of the artwork for that incessantly. Like, you have no idea the
Wow.
amount of hours that I just spent staring at this case. I found myself completely like infatuated with the Spice Girls, and primarily Scary Spice, because, she was representing for women of color, for a lot. Like, she really was there for a lot of girls, I feel like, Mel B.
Yeah.
And so Semantics, my song, actually has Mel B from I ripped it from a radio interview that they did, not unlike this. And but they were in person, and it was off of YouTube. And so you see the video of her, and she's sitting down with the interviewer, and I'm watching the interview, and she ran. This is kind of like where my inspiration comes from. Like, I wrote a whole song around this.
Mm.
So she's sitting there, and she randomly goes, "Well, we like female DJs. There's not enough of them." And I'm like, holy shit. She did not even say that. Holy shit.
Wow.
It's too fucking wild. So I like pulled that, and I like put it in a song. I made a whole song around it. So yeah.
All right, well, I'm just gonna press play on it.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, love.
We like female DJs, there's not enough of them. We like. We like. We like. We like female DJs. There's not enough of them. There's not enough of them. There's not enough of them. Like female DJ.
Sonia, you just made the crowd go crazy. And Sonia Genovese is like, this beat is fire. And shout out to Gypsy Love. She's like, shout out to all the female DJs. You got female DJs up in the show tonight. And that I'm happily able to say that we have the creator of the song I just played, Semantics by Sonya Alvarez. So that was lit. I love that song, Sonia.
Thank you, Gia.
Yes. Any other words on it? Like, so, I mean, you kind of talked a lot about it, both Mel B, but any other comments on that
Yeah,
one?
it really was just, the fact that I was kind of like watching the interview and it came to me to make the song, very organically, and how much she meant to me growing up, I think is pretty cool. I just didn't, just her acknowledging female DJs, I think kind of like meant something to me. So being able to include her in my original production was just really nice. I mean, obviously, I didn't call her up and say, "Hey, Mel B, I'm going to use your voice here," but it all worked out.
It worked out, yes. I think you found a loophole, which I'm like, let me write this down.
I think
Interviews.
so. Yeah.
Well, you did mention something though, like she represented like women of color in the
Yeah.
industry. So how has that been for you being a woman of color in the music industry, a
Well,
woman with,
you know,
autism?
it's been fun because, it depends on what room I'm in. You know what I mean? How you want to see me. I'm not white. I'm not black. So it's a lot of fun. being somewhere in the middle of
Yeah.
things, you know. So I think sometimes it's not seen for me. Sometimes my ethnicity isn't acknowledged, and it's
Mm.
kind of tough because I feel like you want to talk about minority, you know.
Hmm.
Being Puerto Rican is just so uncommon where I am that it's almost just like a
Yeah.
non-thing. It's like, why even mention it type deal, you know. And I think that's kind of damaging because
Wow.
there is so much history in, you know, my people, and it's just so unfortunate that I'm here to represent them, and I don't really have any sort of like special light to do so, as far as, you know, like saying like, oh hey, you know, I'm a, you know, a Latina DJ, you know. And it's like
Yes.
practicing holding that space for myself isn't something I've really been encouraged to do over the years. You know, I've never
Wow.
really pulled the, you know, I'm a person of color, I'm a Latina DJ, I'm you know, queer, I'm special needs. Like, I don't really pull any of these cards because
Mhm.
it almost feels contrived. So when people find out these things about me, they're kind of like, oh, I didn't know. And it's simply because I don't really like to
Lead with
use
it.
lead with it, kind of like use them as my selling points, to where, you know, I see other people do it and I'm like, I could, you know, pull the gay card and tell
Mhm.
everyone that, you know, I think boobs are beautiful, but it's like, what does that have to do with music for me? You
Right.
know what I mean? So yeah, I just kind of like stay in my own lane and just try to hope that people respect me. So yeah, it's been interesting and different. I feel like, you know, all people of color deal with different hurdles, but I think those of us who are kind of like somewhere in the middle, we find it even harder to find solid ground to stand on and find like our people and our own tribe. So it's been an experience, but nothing I would trade for the world. So
Wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree. Like, I could see, unfortunately, you as a Latina getting overlooked in certain instances, like being in a majority, you know, Black city in certain ways, and, you know, also not, you know, choosing not to lead with it if people are assuming a different way. But
right.
I just want to shout out Syntax. She says that she feels that holy, and she said, I could lead with certain aspects about myself, but I just let the music speak for me. So I definitely agree with
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. It's like a choice that, you know, you make, and so that's why I guess we're talking about it here now. But it's been, you asked me about it, so that's why we're talking about it. It's a
Yes.
little bit different. Is the chat not working for anybody else?
This is amping. Sometimes the chat is gonna disappear and you're gonna get kicked
Sure.
off the call. It's a whole journey out here with AMP. It's a new
Oh,
app, I
okay. I
think.
see her comment
Yes.
now. Cool, cool. I was just curious. But I love that. Thank you for commenting, and everyone for listening, and thank you so much, Gia, for having me.
Yes. Okay, well let's go ahead and wrap it
Uh,
up.
the last song, would you mind playing actually the Yeet song for the last song?
For sure. Do you want to talk about your upcoming projects after or before?
We can talk about it before and kind of let everybody go off with that. So, this show I was really looking forward to, because this has served as a large inspiration for me. So, thank you, Gia, for being who you are in the creative space and being the creator that you are, and allowing space for other creators like myself to shine and share things about themselves, because I feel like it's very understated as a creator. Just getting to share a little bit about yourself can help you feel seen and really motivated to do more. I got a project with my sister, like I had mentioned. So, you know, she had expressed to me that she wanted to become a DJ. And so she's got her solo project that she's working on. But we also have the Alvarez sisters, which is going to be a collaborative of the two of us, DJing at first just together. And then hopefully maybe making music one day together as well. And then, and, you know, I'm getting my home together here. I'm going to be working on a mix series for myself, just to have, again, just to kind of like start from where I began, and just kind of like let myself fall in love with the creative process again because I'm not in a hurry. So that makes me happy. So I'll be starting with another mix series and then possibly picking back up my mix series for my record label. I know I'm going to be doing something with my record label soon thereafter that. So a mix series seems pretty natural. And if I do, you know who I'm going to call, girl.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, shout out to Sonya. Make sure you follow her socials. Sonya Alvarez. You can definitely check my profile as well. I follow her. She's in my stories right now. But definitely stay tuned with her upcoming events. But Sonya, let's go ahead and wrap this up. But before I do, I just want to give you a gift and everybody that's listening. So if you guys can, I want you to be interactive listeners, and I want you to hit that bottom clap on the bottom of your screen as I play this gift for all of you. All right, guys. Once again, thank you so much, Sonya. Make sure you guys follow her to stay current with her upcoming events. And let's play this last song by Sonya. It was selected by her, called Get Busy by Yeats. Peace.
Yeah, put up now, we fin' get busy. Yeah. Put up now, we fin' get busy. Yeah. Pull up now, fin' get busy. Yeah. Got some rhymes on inside this tizzy. I got Tootsie on the way, fin' get dizzy. Bitch want white inside the nose, fin' get lazy. I really just wanna Percocet, I'm fin' get pissy. Yeah, by the dub inside Chanel, I'm finna go crazy. Who that is? My bitch better put up on me, that dream my kids. Yeah, I went for real, you not my twins. Hang up, build it up for the body, you not my bill. Yeah, drinking X, money with perk, that's my shit. I got money coming in different ways, I'm popping shit. Everything I imagined in my mind, I done accomplished it. I was serving chickens in the mill. How you want the double C, but no Chanel? On this perk, it got me stupid, I'm a snail. In the club, this bitch right on me, I'm a rail. And my brother kid, locked inside the gym, I got his bail. Bitch, we too legit, everything I said is real as hell. If they can't even tell the real from the fake, I wish them well. Yeah, this song already was turned, but here's a bell. Everything that I know is rich as hell. I just put it 8, I feel like damn. We not bustery, we not getting the hat, no semi-am. I cook that little shit up, green eggs and him. Most importantly, my brain pull up with, yeah, bam. Yeah, pull up now, we fin' get busy. Yeah. Pull up now, we fin' get busy. Yeah, pull up now, fin' get busy. Yeah. Got some rhymes on inside these tizzy. I got Tootsie on the way, fin' get dizzy. Bitch want white inside the nose, fin' get lazy. I really just wanna Percocet, I'm fin' get pissy. Yeah, by the dub inside Chanel, I'm finna go crazy.